Hello and welcome back to DwreckTV. I'm Dwreck, and now we're going into the realm of PlayStation 4. Man, this PlayStation 4. A lot of hype was around it, especially coming off of the heels of the last 3 PlayStations. This thing had a lot to live up to. And during a time when the Wii U had came out, everybody was having fun with it. Just like I said, for the top 10 Wii U games, everybody was having fun with that system. The Wii U was the life of the party during this time. And it was just a matter of time until the new PlayStation and the new Xbox was going to be coming out. But not soon after, about a year later, that's when the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One had came out. Now, when it came to those systems, I was me and my wife, we originally got the Xbox One because it was also going to have Blu-ray on it, so that's pretty cool. And my wife's the Xbox girl, so that's when we started getting, like, if we was going to get other games, we was going to get on the Xbox One. Didn't really see too much use for a PS4 at that time. But then, something to where, like, whenever me and my wife got a PlayStation 4, she got it for me for my birthday in 2018, I believe. Yeah, it was 2018. So that was for my birthday for that year. I was actually pretty excited for it too. It's very fluid, it's very smooth, and you can save a lot of games on it, and you can play Blu-rays, of course, and you can go online, and it's pretty much a souped up PlayStation 3. If I can be very, very frank about it, it's a souped up PlayStation 3. But it's also got a bigger graphics card, and it just runs a lot smoother. And online it just feels a lot more smooth. As opposed to the Xbox One, it just felt a little clunky at times, but that's how I see it. But as far as the PlayStation 4, that graphical leap from the PS3 to PS4 was kind of very just a smidge little bit better. Because if you gotta say, from the PlayStation 1, the graphics were great for that time. Then when it jumped to PS2, it was a huge leap. And going from PS2 to PS3, that was also a huge leap. But as far as like the graphical leap between generations this time around was just like a little more step as far as like a big leap as the last 2 generations were like. But at the time, the graphics on a lot of the games were fantastic. Absolutely amazing graphics on certain games, and it just, like, the graphics on them, just the characters just look more realistic, the environments are more widespread, and it just looked phenomenal, if you will. But there is one thing about this generation that really kind of, not really say brung my piss to a boil, but I did have to wave some red flags on this. This was during a generation where games started to become more of a hindrance. When I say hindrance, I'm saying, like, when you play a game, you put the game in the console, and it automatically saves, like, the save files and everything. Nowadays, during this era, that's when it started to begin with you have to install the game on the hard drive of the console. I'm like install? Like, what's this? What's all this about? And what I mean by that is, it's like you can't really play the game. You gotta wait for it to install, and that's gonna take like almost an hour just for that. And we just came off of PlayStation 3 with all the updates that they always used to have. That lasts like almost 2 to 3 hours. That was a freaking abysmal. And now it's even more abysmal that the games you gotta install on the hard drive just so they can play better. Like, well, what? That's when my grandpa came out and me like, now wait just a minute here, boy. Now wait just a minute. You mean to tell me that when you get the game, you gotta install it on the hard drive just so it can play better? What the fuck's going on here? Especially for the consoles, for saying like it's got a 500 gigabyte hard drive. That sounds like a lot at that time and everything, but by the time you finish uploading and installing games and everything, you just about ran out of disk space. Like, what the fuck's going on here? Now, wait just a goddamn minute right now. And especially on the Xbox One, that really brought my piss to a boil with that, was that you had to. I got at least like 6 games, and they already maxed out the hard drive. Like, what the fuck is going on there? That's when I was like, that's when I put the brakes on. I'm like, whoa, I ain't buying no more damn games because of the shit like this. But then whenever when she got me the PlayStation 4, it's got a 1 terabyte hard drive, and I still got enough space to put games on there. I'm like, now why couldn't the Xbox One come out with a 1 terabyte hard drive from the get-go? This makes no sense. I just want to go on a tangent right now. There is no reason going from a generation, like, what happened to memory cards, huh? What happened to memory cards? Just saving the game on a memory card and then going to your friend's house. Or on the last generation, you could save the save states on your hard drive and you don't have to install anything. Or at least to what I remember. But now you gotta save not only the save states on the console, but you gotta install it as well. It's taking up so much room on the hard drives. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? So with all that being out of the way, what are DwreckTV's top 10 games on the PS4? Well, to be very honest with y'all, this is coming from the hip. I'm shooting from the hip right now. This was the generation that I started to notice things. This was the generation that I started to notice something about these games and about these game developers and these game publishers. This was when I started to notice the trend of things were just very, very polarizing. This generation was the beginning of polarization, if you will. Because, especially when it comes to creativity and putting games out, and especially with these stupid idiots on the internet, this is one of the reasons why I can't stand this generation, because that's when it started with the freaking idiots online. But it started to come to where it's like everything is just starting to consolidate to just one franchise, one video game IP and everything. It's like they used to have a whole bunch of football games like NFL Blitz and the Maddens and all the others that I'm not really familiar with, but you know what I'm talking about. Now everything is just consolidated to just Madden. Like first-person shooters, everything's just consolidated down to Call of Duties and Battlefields and such. Man, everything, like especially with wrestling games with WWF and everything's just they used to have a whole bunch of games. They used to have like exclusives on the PS2, the Xbox, and the GameCube and everything, but now everything's just consolidated to just WWF 2K games. So stupid. Especially with the NBA games, everything's just consolidated now down to just the 2K games. Like everything you can think of, everything's just becoming more consolidated to just one thing, one franchise, one game a year or so, one thing, one. And it's like, what? There's no creativity no more on this stuff, you know? Everything's about just making cash year after year, and people just keep falling for it. It's fucking stupid if you think about it. It's fucking stupid. So with all that being said, I do have a list of top 10 games on the PS4 that I actually enjoyed, but this is also during a time when there's like all the rental stores started shutting down, Blockbuster shut down, the mom and pop stores were like a thing of the past and everything, and it's freaking stupid about things like this. But before I get to the top 10 for PS4, I'm going to list some honorable mentions. And it's very, very little, because I didn't really play too many games on the PS4 besides my top 10s and a couple here and there, and just I was like, what the fuck ever, dude. But first honorable mention is Street Fighter V. This game, it was very stylish. The controls were really cool. The graphics were great. The art style and the aesthetics of this game was wonderful. Absolutely freaking wonderful. And the gameplay and having to download all the fighters throughout the year and everything is kind of like off-putting, but overall, it was a great game. It was a great fighting game for the PS4. And another one that was really good that my wife wanted to get really bad for the PS4, and it's Resident Evil 7. This was the first full-on first-person view for Resident Evil. And it was spooky, it was cool, and it took place in Louisiana because I live in South Louisiana, so this was game. It was very accurate, especially the characters and the voices and everything. it was very accurate to how people talk down here, especially in those days and everything. But I can't really play this game too much because out of all the first-person shooter games or first-person games, this game got me nauseous. I can't play this game because there's something about it. I can play Halo, I can play Perfect Dark Zero, James Bond games, but when it comes to games like this, I couldn't stomach it. What's going on? Like, I couldn't play it. Like, I played for like a good hour or so, and then all of a sudden my stomach started to churn, and then bleh, there goes my dinner. And then this was one of the first games I got for the PS4, and it's called Overwatch. I remember seeing Overwatch all over the place. The characters looked absolutely amazing. The graphics on this game was absolutely amazing. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get this game is because my wife looks like me. She's adorable. But one of the reasons why I didn't really get too much into this game is the fact that it's always online. There's no single player campaign, and that kind of threw me off. That kind of didn't sit well with me, but it was a really good game for what it was. The characters looked amazing. The graphics looked amazing. The art styles and the colors and everything about this game was just amazing. But like I said, always online, and you can't play it offline either. That really freaking sucks. And that's one of the things that also brings my pistol boil about this generation is like some of the games you have to always be online just to play the game, and that really pissed me off. I did have Death Stranding. That game was just a walking simulator, dude. I played it for like an hour. I only had like 10 minutes of gameplay and then more talking, more cinematics. The game was great and everything, but I just said, you know what? I can't do this no more. I love Kojima from artist to artist, but I couldn't do it. That's not what a video game is to me. So, all that being out the way, let's get into the top 10 games for PlayStation 4.
This is for the players. For those that leap into battle in the blink of an eye. For the drivers that compete for their club, no matter where they are.
For those that triumph together. This is for the game changers. This is for the players. This is PS4.
And now, DwreckTV's Top 10 PlayStation 4 Games! Fabuloso! Number 10!
Number 10 was actually a PlayStation 3 game at first. And I always say I don't really like to get like ports of games and everything from the last generation because it's just kind of redundant. And why would I want to play an old game when I could just play it on the old hardware? But that's just me. But with this one, this was a very rare exception because it was really an online game. And right when I was about to buy it, they took it down off the PS3 network. And then 11 years later, they finally came back with it on the PS4. And that is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I really had the demo of this game downloaded on my PS3, and I still got the demo on my PS3 to this date. And right when I was about to buy it, the game got taken down off the PlayStation Network. And then I was kind of like very let down, like now all I got is just the demo. But then 11 years later, they finally come back and re-release it on the PS4. So this was definitely an exception to get a PS3 on the PS4. But regardless, this game was amazing. I really loved it. The graphics were absolutely wonderful. It was amazing that games like this can still be made nowadays and just looks absolutely amazing as compared to something like hyper realistic and everything. I love this. The music on it was wonderful. The characters on it were really good. The gameplay was really tough. This game was definitely made for multiplayers because the enemies were so freaking tough. The bosses were absolutely absurdly hard. But this game, it just felt like a cross between Double Dragon and River City Ransom. You upgrade everything, and you play Scott, you play Kim, you play Ramona Flowers, you play Steven Stills, and also you can get play Wallace and Knives. But this game was amazing. I really like this game. The graphics, the music is fantastic, and the gameplay of it is just absolutely amazing. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. It took 11 years for me to finally play it. I really did not think I was ever going to play this game ever again, aside from just a demo. But I'm really glad that they finally put it back on in physical form and everything after 11 years. But it was very enjoyable.
Number 9!
Rayman Legends. I did play the demo of this game on the Wii U when it first came out. And this game was originally made for the Wii U, but then Ubisoft bitched out and made it multi-platform. Which is alright, because I always saw Rayman as a PlayStation character anyway. This game don't have much of a story to it, as the bad guys, they kidnap all the teensies, and it's up to Rayman and gang to get them all back. You go from world to world, and you go through pictures in a gallery to go to them. The more teensies you rescue, the more worlds you open. It's much like Rayman Origins. It's a 4-player platformer, all 4 players on the screen at the same time. You go through the levels, dodging obstacles, and these levels are devious. This game requires a lot of skill and practice and a lot of timing, if you will. But this game was fantastic. It's just like how it was for Rayman Legends. The graphics look really cool. They're very stylish, and the music is great, especially in certain levels. It's just outrageous. This game is outrageous. And you got epic bosses, it's got high definition graphics, and just a big 4-player co-op fun for this game. If you like the Rayman Origins, you're gonna like Rayman Legends. It's outrageous.
Number 8!
Number 8 is a racing game, and it's Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. I am fully aware that this was HD remastered to Crash Team Racing on the PS1 and Crash Nitro Kart on the PlayStation 2. So they just combined both games into this HD remake of it. But as much as I didn't really like to buy HD remakes, but this one, I just put it to the side and just say, you know what, I need a good racing game aside from Mario and Sonic and everything. But this game was amazing. The graphics on it were fantastic. The music on it was great. The characters were all off the wall. You got all the tracks and arenas from Crash Team Racing and Crash Nitro Kart. You can race on multiple game modes. You got adventure, you got arcade, time trials, battle, and more. You can compete and race friends online, and you can customize characters and carts. And also, that's exclusive on the PS4. You can have Crash, Coco, and Dr. Cortex look like their retro styles on the PlayStation 1. But during a time where it was just always just Mario Kart this, Mario Kart that, it's refreshing to see something actually different, like a mascot kart racing game that's not a Mario game. And this game was fantastic. I really liked it. And just like with how was Mario Kart on the Switch and Team Sonic Racing on the Xbox, you couldn't go wrong with these kind of racing games on each system. It was great. And Crash Bandicoot was great, and this was also another time when he had that Insanity trilogy. But Crash Nitro Kart, Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. Yeah, try saying that 5 times fast. It was a great racing game. I loved it.
Number 7!
Next is somewhat of a remake, but also like kind of going forward. It's kind of in that middle spot of like a remake, but also going forward. And it's based around one of the main mascots for the PlayStation ever since PS2, and that's Ratchet and Clank the movie. When I say Ratchet and Clank the movie, this is a game based on the movie, based on the game, because it ties in with the movie, which is pretty much like a retelling of the first game, but a little more detailed. And the movie was actually really good. The kids loved it. I liked it. I got no complaints about it. But The game is pretty much based on, it ties in with the movie. But this game, it plays a lot like the original Ratchet & Clank game, where you play Ratchet & Clank and you gotta join up with Captain Cork and new friends as they battle to save the Solona galaxy from the evil Chairman Dwreck. And if you've played the original, you pretty much played this. The graphics on it, the HD graphics on this game was mind-blowing. It looked beautiful. The graphics, the aesthetics, the backgrounds looked great. The music was great. The controls were very fluid in this game. But as far as like the weapons go, it's pretty much what you expect from Ratchet & Clank game. They probably got like maybe 1 or 2 new weapons in there, but I didn't really see much of a difference. But this was a really good game. I really liked it. I just wish they could have just made like a full-on sequel. But I get what they try to do. They want. I think that is the joke. That's the joke. It's the game based on the movie, based on the game. Like it was made for this movie. It was a remake. It's a retelling of the first game. So I think that was the joke. But I think it would have been great if it was just a full-on sequel. But it was very good. But it's really good for seasoned veterans of 3D platformers, and it's definitely good for kids. So when it comes to Ratchet & Clank, you can't go wrong.
Number 6!
Dude, it's games like this that's like, when I played this game, it was like, this is what I'm talking about. Infamous Second Son. This game looked amazing. This game plays amazing. This is the kind of games that I'm really talking about. This is my kind of game right here. After Cole's fate in the second game, the game takes place several years after, and now you play this new kid. His name's Nelson. I think it's Delson, and he gets smoke and fire powers, and he and his brother go on a journey through Seattle to escape. And along the way, they gotta take out authority figures, and they gotta try and take out some concrete bitch to help his loved ones that was affected by her. This kid is a breath of fresh air. He's fast, he's agile, he's climbing up buildings, he's jumping off buildings, he's using his new powers, and the game looks and plays fun. This game is just plain fun. I'd rather play a game like this than something like Death Stranding. The graphics and the aesthetics are amazing, down to the last little particles. The backgrounds and the environments are amazing. Visually, the visuals in this game is just absolutely amazing. The jump from, when I think of like, man, what kind of games like what I say was like a jump between PS3 and PS4. This was definitely one of them games. Infamous Second Son, the graphics on it, the graphical leap from the PS3 to PS4 is definitely prevalent in this game. This was absolutely amazing. Down to the facial expressions and everything, the way he moves, the way he talks, and the cutscenes in it was amazing. The Infamous Second Son, even though I was kind of bummed out about Cole's fate on the second game, but this kid right here, he is very quick. This kid is quick, and I love this game. Infamous Second Son is amazing. If you haven't played it, get a PS4 and get it. This is great.
Number 5!
Sprite Chill. Really good stuff. Alright. This next game. Oh my god. You want to talk about late entries? This game was long overdue. But when it came out so late in the PlayStation 4. They could have just brought this out of the PS5 game. I would have been fine with it. And that is Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. I remember back when the PS4 came out, I was telling my cousin Max that I would get a PS4 if they would just come out with a brand spanking new exclusive Crash Bandicoot game. And that was back in 2014 I said that. Then fast forward to damn near 2020, this game was just amazing. The game was great. It was just what I always wanted to get, a brand new Crash Bandicoot game. Even though this could have been like Crash Bandicoot 6, because really the fourth one was really the Wrath of Cortex on the PS2. But whatever. In this game, Crash looks great. The graphics look great, even though I'm really tired of seeing magenta and turquoise and light blue and everything, but I can get past it. In this game, you bend the rules of time and space by using the powerful quantum mask. You play as Crash, you play as Coco, you play as Dingo Dial, Tawana, and also Dr. Cortex. You can unlock alternate timelines, flashback tapes, and invert levels. And you can play with your friends in Bandicoot Battle, and you can pass and play modes. The music was fantastic. The levels, the graphics on it, the aesthetics of the game were really cool, but I can't really get my grasp on the whole neon colors with magenta and turquoise and just neon colors and everything. And Tawana's redesign was kind of off-putting, but it looked pretty cool. But overall, this was the kind of game that I was really waiting on for so long. They finally came out with it late in the PS4's lifespan, I might add. They could have just had this on the PS5, and that could have been like the first game on the PS5 I would have got. But either way, Crash Bandicoot 4, it's about time. It is absolutely about time he got a brand new game. And they really need to start making more. No more freaking remakes or insanity trilogies and everything. No. Get Crash Bandicoot 4. If you got Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, and 3 on a PS1, get Crash Bandicoot 4. It's amazing. The game is great. I loved it.
Number 4.
Number 4. Bruh. Oh my god. This game, and games like it, was freaking amazing. When I played this, I just thought this was one of the best games I've played on it, and it was amazing. Transformers Devastation. Even though I didn't really grow up as a Transformers fan, I grew up more as a Beast Wars fan when I was a teenager, but the Transformers I really had no problem with, even though I didn't really watch too many episodes when I was a kid, but I was aware of them. But when this game came out, and just the way it looked, the way it played, and everything about it, I just thought this was amazing, and I knew my friend Karsh Lead had to get this as well, because he's way bigger on the Transformers than I am. But in this game, you play as 5 Autobots. You can play as Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Sideswipe, Wheeljack, and Grimlock. You go around from world to world, try to save the city and everything, and to save the planet from the Decepticons, taking on guys like the Constructicons, Insecticons, all the Decepticons like Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Shockwave, and all the others. This game was amazing. The hack and slash and everything, and transforming into your vehicle modes was just amazing. The music on this game was phenomenal. The graphics with the cell shade and everything just worked perfectly. It really captured that aesthetics of the original cartoon, and this game was just amazing. I wish they would have had more games like this, and this is the kind of Transformers I'm talking about. Forget the Michael Bay movies and everything. This game was amazing. Absolutely freaking amazing. And Platinum Games, they know how to do a game justice. A game like this, they know how to do it justice. Transformers Devastation, without a doubt, amazing.
Number 3.
Dude, number 3 is quite possibly one of the funnest games I've played on the PS4. Much like how the trend of Platinum Games, when it came from Bayonetta 4 and even Transformers Devastation, when this game came out, I just thought like, bruh, this is freaking amazing. I freaking love this game. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutants in Manhattan. Much like how with the Transformers, how Karsh Lee was a big fan of Transformers, everybody knows I'm a big fan of the Ninja Turtles. And when this game came out, when it was revealed, I just thought, this looked freaking cool. This game looked cool. And it also came out around the same time whenever me and my wife got married. So, how fitting. This game looked amazing. The Turtles looked fantastic. They looked nothing like that piece of garbage Michael Bay movies. They look fantastic in this. If they would have looked like this in those movies, it would have been great. But in this one, just like with Transformers Devastation, you play all 4 turtles. You're going around the city trying to take out all the enemies, fighting the foot soldiers, and taking on all the enemies. Like you take on Rocksteady, Bebop, you take on Ormagon, Karai, Slash, Krang, and even the Shredder. This game was amazing. The graphics on it were fantastic with the cell shade. The music was great. And just the interactions between all the turtles and everything, and especially with April and Splinter, was great. And Raphael, he's got that New York accent and everything, and that was great. Michelangelo's funny. Leonardo's great, and Donatello's great. Like, they played too much. They did play a lot into their traits and everything, but it was very subtle. Like, they weren't over-exaggerated with anything. It was very subtle, which was something I really liked. Fighting the enemies and fighting all the bad guys was insane, but also very tough. This game gets tough quick. It starts off slow, but then by the time you get like halfway and all the way to the end, it gets freaking redundantly hard. Especially against the last few enemies and everything, especially the rock guys. I wanted to freaking throw my controller on how tough those things were, because it was absurd. But overall, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan, probably one of the best turtle games I've ever played, aside from Arcade Game and Turtles in Time. And this was like a couple years before Shredder's Revenge was even a thing. But Mutants in Manhattan, I freaking loved it. Hands down, one of the best turtle games I've ever played before Shredder's Revenge became a thing. But Platinum Games, they were great with games like this. It was freaking amazing. I freaking loved it.
Number 2!
This could have easily been number 1. If it wasn't for the number 1 right now, this number 2 could have easily been number 1. Easily. This game right here was something that I've yearned for years. Years! And then they finally put it out, and I was... Words can't describe just how excited and just how thankful I am for a game like this. Fire Pro Wrestling World. Remember how I said back in the PS2 when I played Fire Pro Wrestling Returns, how I said I just wished that they had a pro wrestling game that you could just create any wrestler you can think of, any promotion you can think of, just go online and everything and trade characters and everything. I thought about things like that in 2007. Fast forward to 2017, 18, they finally put out Fire Pro Wrestling World, and this is quite honestly one of the best wrestling games I've ever played. Even though the Fire Pro engine is kind of takes some time to get used to and everything, I really would prefer the Aki engine, but the Fire Pro system is just as good. But creativity-wise, this game was an all-time high. You can create just about any wrestler you can think of. You can make the rings. You can create up to 1,500 wrestlers in this game. You can make up to 200 rings, have up to 200 promotions. You can do just about anything in this game. And also, with all the updates and everything and like DLCs and everything, this game, like when it first came out, it was kind of bare bones. But once the DLCs started coming out and updates and everything, that's when the game really started to shine. I haven't really played too much of the Fighting Road, but I just played so much with the editing and fixing up everybody. The game also came with the New Japan and the Stardom characters, but then over time I just made everything. I made WWF, I made TNA, I made Pro Wrestling 225, and all the other companies that you could possibly think of from all over the freaking world. Everything from Japan, Canada, Mexico, the UK, Australia. Just about any company that you can think of, past, present, and future, I put in to this freaking game. I got this game the day of All In 2018, and I've been playing this game ever since. The 2K games are nothing compared to this. I call this game the 2K killer. I haven't bought a single 2K game ever since then, because the amount of times that how the 2K games, they always come out with DLCs and then you gotta rebuy them every year and everything. This game, you can download every wrestler that's on the 2K games on this game, and you don't have to pay a cent for it. I've played this game for the last 6-7 years, and I'm still getting enjoyment out of it. I still enjoy this game because I am so freaking thankful for this game, because I've thought and prayed and wished for a game like this back in 2007, and then 11 years later they came out with it, and I thought about it, they call it like Pro Wrestling World, but now they come out Fire Pro Wrestling World. I am very thankful for this game. I am very grateful for it, because it was everything that I could possibly think of. It was everything that I could possibly ever dream of. This is a wrestling fan's dream right here, Fire Pro Wrestling World. Even though the controls are all right. Like I said, I wish there was the Aki engine, but I can put up with the Fire Pro engine. But like I say, creation-wise, this game was an all-time high, and it definitely beat out. I definitely say Fire Pro Wrestling World beat out No Mercy creation-wise. That's how great it is. I'm very thankful for it.
And now, number 1!
This game right here. Oh, man. This was the first game I got for the PS4 when we got it. And I just thought this was one of the most amazing, enjoyable games I've ever played. Even though if it wasn't for this game, Fire Pro Wrestling World would definitely be number 1, because I played that game probably more times than any other PS4 game I've ever played. Aside from Fire Pro Wrestling World, Ninja Turtles, Transformers, Infamous Second Son, Crash 4, and all the others, what could possibly be number 1? It's this game right here. Absolutely amazing. And it's number 1 on the PS4. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. Just when you thought it was over for Nathan Drake after Uncharted 3, they came out with Uncharted 4, and this game looked and played amazing. I freaking love this game. Thrown back into the dangerous underworld he tried to leave behind, Nathan Drake must decide what he's willing to sacrifice to save the ones he loved. In this game, you got Drake, there's Sam, his brother Sam, who was thought to have been dead. You also got Elaine and Sullivan. And they all go on an epic venture around the globe, through jungles, through islands, through bustling cities and snow-capped peaks, in search of a lost treasure and the lost fortune of Henry Avery. This game was amazing. The graphics were stunning. Absolutely freaking stunning. Comparatively speaking to Uncharted 3, this game looked phenomenal. The music on it was great, and the interactions between him and his brother Sam and Sullivan, it was amazing. One of the best games, very enjoyable. The controls were really cool, especially being able to do stealth modes and everything, like do stealth moves for the bad guys and everything. And this game was amazing, especially with dealing with the pirates and the Henry Avery and everything. I thought that was fascinating. I'm very fascinated with pirates because you never know. The thing about pirates is like there's very much a mystery to them, because hardly anything's ever written about them. So it's like it's very much a mystery, and it's very intriguing. I love to learn about things like that. But this game was amazing, and it sits atop as number 1 on the PlayStation 4. The ending to this game was very fitting and very, very heartwarming. A very heartwarming ending to the series and to Nathan Drake, and this game is really and truly one of the best games I've played on the PS4, and it's fitting to be the number 1 on the PS4. So there you have it. There you have it. DwreckTV's top 10 PlayStation 4 games. Got your screenshots? Good. Even though I haven't really talked much about PlayStation or the PS4 or any kind of PlayStation consoles in the last few years, like I said, it's definitely refreshing to talk about things like this, aside from Nintendo all the time. But looking back on the PlayStation 4, the console is very cool. It was very smooth, very fluid, very much a step up from the PlayStation 3 as far as graphics goes and power-wise and everything. But as far as the games go, aside from the games that I just listed, a lot of them were just, how I said before, very polarizing, because everything was just one thing, one shooter, one type of platformer, one type of wrestling game, one type of like the sports games and all that crap. But it really started to become very redundant when it comes to, like, especially creativity wise. It, like, a lot of these games lack a lot of creativity, a lot of originality. And if there is some games that are like that, please let me know, because I haven't seen them. But other than that, all the games that was on top 10 were amazing. And the PlayStation 4, as great as it was, and the more I think about like what kind of games were great on this system and everything, because all the games were also prevalent on the Xbox and on PC. So it's like, it's really getting tough to where it's like the exclusivities. It's really getting tough with exclusivities to have on consoles nowadays, because everybody wants to go multi-platform. Like, why can't I play this game on this one? Like, I can play it on this one. That's a different that's another argument for another day about exclusivities. But other than that, the PlayStation 4 was a really cool system, and I'll never forget it. Especially with the games like Uncharted 4 and Ninja Turtles and Transformers and everything. It was a great system. But other than that, that's all I can say about the PlayStation 4. So, that being said, this is Dwreck signing out. See y'all on the flip side.
I'm done talking about this.